Hi Stampers, this is Karen Phillip. I'm a Stampin Up Demonstrator, and I'm pleased to show you how to make this card, and it's called a pop-out gatefold card. This is what it looks like when it stands up, and it folds. This goes down, and these can go one in each direction, and that's how it would look flat. So let's get started. First of all, we have our little sample for our club members. This is how it will look when it's all assembled, but you don't want to glue it directly onto your card because then you won't be able to see how it works. So I'm just suggesting that you do just one side of these flaps, put it on the guide for the line, just that one side, and now you can push it in and fold it down and put it in your sample things. And then when you want to see what it's supposed to look like, you can just pull out the one side. So just a little suggestion for you. Okay, so this card is...
I'm not sure I understand.
This card is very simple to make actually, and I'll put all the measurements on the website. And I'm using Pretty Peacock, and this is 5.5 by 8, scored at 2468 or 246, and then we're going to take it and fold it in half along the 4-inch score line, and then we will cut off 1 1/4 inches. You could do it with a paper trimmer, or you could cut it, just draw it if you're afraid of the paper trimmer. So my 2-inch score line is right here. You won't be able to see that, but that's what I'm going to cut down to. So I'm at 1 1/4 inch on this side. I'm pushing it down. I'm going down to the score line at 2 inches. I'm making sure that I'm just slightly doing it now, and it stops so I know I've cut through all the layers. Going to flip it over this way and do the right side, or the other side. Same thing, 1 1/4 inch, bring it down, go to the score line right here, and you have, went a little bit far, but so you have these two cuts. Now you can use your paper trimmer to do some more scoring, but I found it easier and less likely to use the wrong blade to do the other scoring on here. And I'll put a little chart on my website too of what's what. So now we're going to open this up, and you see you have your little slits here. A lot of people put it on their paper trimmer open and then try to line it up this way, but it was just as easy just to fold it in half and do it in one shot. So now we're going to take our scoring tool, and I'm just going to take a piece of white paper, just because I had it, and we are going to score along 3 and 5, but just on this center part. Now because the scoring tool, you can kind of line it up, but by the time you get down here, it feels kind of like you don't have the right one. So I'm just taking just a piece of paper or ruler, whatever you'd like. I'm putting it on the 3-inch mark. It's the larger hash mark, and I'm just scoring just in between here, between the two cut marks. And now I'm going over to the 5-inch mark and doing the same thing. There we go. I'm at the 5-inch mark here, and just scoring it on between the lines, or between the cuts. And this is what I end up with. So we have score marks here. Let me show you actually on a piece of white. Shows better. So we did the cutting here, these two sides, and then we scored it 3 and 5. And you can see these two marks. This is the center score line, but that will get covered up. You can kind of see that. So a way that I was having trouble folding it into different parts like one goes up and one goes down and all of that. So what I found works the best. I'm just going to flip the big panels up like so, just to crease it. Push them together like so. So you just have this. It's going to look like almost like a paper airplane. I'm going to push the top and the bottom down. You can do same side or opposite, doesn't matter, but they go down. And now I'm simply going to push, give it a little nudge there, push this down flat. And so, again, I'll do it on here so that you can see better. So this is up, push these down, push it down, and now you can see that you have a little bit of a, well, you have, this is what it looks like. And so when you let go, it's going to look like this, but when you open it, it will look like this. Hope that makes sense. But I just found that rather than trying to, okay, so if I were to do this the other way, I'd have to make sure this was up, then I have to make sure these are over. So I just felt it easier pushing it up, pushing these down, flattening it, and the sides pop out, and that's how you get that look. Now we are going to decorate it. It goes really quickly. Okay, so we would just put this, and this is the Winter Meadow designer paper, and it will be available. It's a carryover product, so I'm not quite sure if that means in the next catalog or if it's going to be online, but it's not retiring, so that's all I know. We don't always have privy to everything. Okay, so these are 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. We're just going to put this on here and here. And you could decorate it more. You could put something on these little pieces here, these, or you can just leave it like I did. But we want to put a piece in the middle. So this piece is 2 1/2 by 3. And the 3 comes from being in the center here. Now I'm just sort of sizing it to make sure it's going to fit, and it just fits, but I'm going to trim just a sliver of it off so that it doesn't move when I try to close it or open it. So I'm just a tiny sliver. Okay, now it should just, see, now it just fits in there nicely. So again, I'm going to push this open, close these, push this down, because it's easier to glue on a flat surface. I'm just putting the adhesive on the center piece, and I made this bigger than the actual little piece here just because I thought it looked cooler. So I just put 3 lines of adhesive on that piece, leaving it flat. If you want, you can mark this with a little mark for the center, and I think I'll be okay. So I'm just pushing it down so that I know it's even on both sides. I'm pretty good with that kind of thing. All right, just make sure it still has that little wiggle here. Okay, so now you can see that this is bigger, and when you open it up, it's sort of like a tent. Here's kind of the side. Okay, now on the back, we are going to take just a tiny piece of design or white paper, and this 1 3/4 by 3, or 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. So we'll just put that on. Again, this one, it goes right over the crease or the score line, right in the middle, and you leave a little bit of a border. So you can see that when we have this closed, that's how it will look. Now we will decorate this part, and I'm using the Magical Meadow stamp set, and I'm using this berry. There are dies to this, and it comes right now as a bundle. So I'm taking Berry Burst, and I'll do this on here so you can see better. I'm just stamping this berry, the whole thing, or inking it up, and then taking Pretty Peacock and going on the leaves, and you can go right over the previous ink because it's a darker than the one that you're going over, so it's okay. And then these little top things on the berries, little stem things, and then simply stamp it on like that, and that way you get the same look as the paper. And then we will stamp the sentiment again from that stamp set. It says Winter Wishes. Put that right here. It stamps very nicely. Close my other ink. So for the look of this card, it really goes quickly actually. And again, I like it flat, so I'm just going to flatten it out and put it on there like so. And you have this really cute card that is not Christmas, but it's winter, and it's easy to make. It's one of those that looks so much more complicated. I was intimidated by it at first. And open, push this down. I like to do opposite sides just because it looks cooler to me. You could do both sides, it doesn't matter. That looks good too. And then it lies flat in the envelope. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.